Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Long Distance Work Life Podcast. This is the podcast where we try to make sense of remote and hybrid work and generally trying to get through the day, keeping the weasels at bay. My name is, in fact, Wayne Turmel, and with me is my partner in crime, producer, all around good egg, Marissa Eikenberry. Hi, Marissa.
Hi, Wayne.
Now, I know that you have a topic that you have been buzzing about for a while, and so I am going to let you take the lead on this discussion and get it off your chest.
Yes, sounds great. Okay, I want you to picture this. Somebody messages you on Slack, just says, hi, then nothing. Maybe for a few minutes, maybe they're waiting for you to respond back, so then you say hi, and then they tell you what they need. For many remote workers, this is a huge pet peeve. In fact, it might be a nightmare for some of us, right? So this is kind of part of, some people may have heard it called the No Hello Club, No Hello Movement. And essentially, it's trying to combat this. So no hello is the idea that instead of just saying hi or hi, do you have a minute? You might say, you're going to write your message with your inquiry right away. So it might be, hi, Wayne. I can't remember if we are having a business meeting on Friday. Can you tell me what time that's going to be? It's all right together.
Okay, so there is a bunch of stuff there.
Right.
So let's unpack the problem.
Okay.
The problem is not that you are saying hello. I'm guessing
Correct.
that your mother raised you right.
Yes.
However, here's the thing I want you to picture. Have you ever dealt with a 3-year-old?
Not often.
When you're doing you'll trust me.
I know. Someday I'll get there.
you are busy doing something, and the 3-year-old says, "Hi, hi, hello, hi, daddy." There's that famous the cartoon I'm trying to think of.
Are you talking about Family Guy with Stewie Griffin?
Family Guy with Stewie going,
Mommy.
Anybody who has a kid understands the problem, right? Which is, I'm doing something, I'm being interrupted, what the heck do you want? And you won't get to the point.
Yes.
This makes people crazy. And so where the problem with the No Hello Club is that it falls under one of two extremes. The extreme is, I need to engage you in conversation. I need to catch your attention so that you will talk to me.
Right.
And so I say something pleasant designed to capture your attention, and I await a response.
Yes.
That is a relatively valid approach to conversation. Right. The other extreme of this is, I'm not expecting a message. I'm not expecting to talk to you. And I get this thing, this request or this whatever out of a clear blue sky that I have to stop what I'm doing and figure out what the heck do you want? Does this mean I have to stop what I'm doing and help you?
Right.
Right. And so it's this, where do you fall on the politeness spectrum? On the one hand, you're overly polite. On the other hand, this is purely transactional. There's no greeting. Didn't your mother raise you better than that?
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, we don't want that either.
We don't necessarily want to do that either. So let me ask you, one, since you seem to have some pretty strong feelings about this.
Right.
What's your take on this?
Okay, I'm a fan of the No Hello Club. However, I also think that people misunderstand what it really means. To your point, what it does not mean is, I'm just going to give you exactly what I need, and I'm not going to say hello or, good morning or anything ahead of time. That is not what no hello means. What no hello really means is putting it all together in the same message. For me, I'm a very task-oriented person. We've talked about this on the show before. Like, if you're familiar with disc styles, I'm high C, I'm high D, and I have a little bit of S. There's not a lot of people there. And so for me, if I get a hi and then there's nothing for 5 minutes, you've ticked me off. Because now I've gotten interrupted. I'm waiting for your message, but you're not responding. You're not saying anything. So can I go back to what I'm doing, or do I need to wait? So now it's wasting time. And so for me, I do get really annoyed. So I prefer having it all in one space because, yeah, I still want the, hi, good morning, how are you, whatever. And I will still respond to that. And I know why you're interrupting me, to be quite honest about it.
Yeah, it's tough because if we worked in the cube farm, I can see you coming from across the room.
Right. You have some preparation.
And you have that look on your face. Oh my gosh, Marissa needs to talk to me. And I can kind of steel myself up and put a smile on my face. Or I can bury my head in my keyboard in the universal symbol of leave me the heck alone. And you can see that. And so you leave me the heck alone.
Yeah.
Unless it's really important.
Right.
But that all happens visually and non-verbally, right? We don't have that option.
Right.
When we're working remotely, we need to capture the other person's attention. And how do we do that in a way that doesn't make them want to kill us?
Right.
And very often, innocent, well-intentioned things. I mean, the scariest word, as you and I have discussed many times, the scariest words in the English language are, hey, have you got a minute? Yes. Right? When I'm busy working and I'm doing whatever and up on Slack or whatever you're using, right? The delivery method is not nearly as important as the
right. Content. Yeah, we use Slack, so that's usually what I'm going to say.
Up comes this message, hey, have you got a second? If I am in a good mood, I look at that and say, why, yes, I do. And it's coming from Marissa, and it's always a pleasure to talk to Marissa. So by golly, yes, I do. If I get a message from Kevin, who is an equally pleasant person, but my boss sends me a message that says, hey, have you got a second? There is a moment.
Red flags. I'm getting fired.
And drama, where even though, as far as I know, I am not now, nor have been at any time in the recent past in danger of getting fired. The very words, hey, have you got a second, means, oh my God, what's wrong? Right? Instant stress.
Well, and even when you're not necessarily thinking of it, something like that, like a minute is rarely ever a minute. Right. I think that's also part of the reason I get annoyed, because sometimes a minute is 2 hours.
Yeah. Hey, have you got a second, you lying weasel? It is not going to be a second. No. It may not be long. It may not be painful. I guarantee it's not going to be a second.
Right.
Okay. So the issue is this. We need to get people's attention because they need to see.
Of course.
There is a message, a request. Now, so as you say, you can put the greeting in the request.
Right.
Do you have a minute? And the way I like to phrase it, and you can tell me if I do this to your specifics, because you're the one I'm talking to, right?
Right.
What I try to say is, hey, good morning. Can you tell me about this?
Yes.
Right? And then I will specify a time frame in there. No rush, or, I need an answer in the next hour, but I try to give you some guidance.
Yes.
on
and even
how to
if
properly respond to that.
Right. I was going to say, and even if it is something where, occasionally we need to get on a Zoom call or something like that. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen sometimes. You'll tell me what the Zoom call is about before we even get on the phone. So then if I need to, look something up real quick, I'm prepared. So yeah. Yeah. And I will say you do this really well.
I better. I wrote the book on this.
Right. Right. I was going to say, there's one of them right there.
I better jolly well know how to do this. There are a couple of factors here. So let's just enumerate them.
Yeah.
For people who are listening in a fully auditory environment, right?
Right.
The first thing is you need to get the person's attention.
Right.
Right? This needs to
happen. And a notification
happen.
will do that.
A notification will do that. You want to ask in a way that would make your mother proud of you. You want to be polite. You want to be cordial. You want to use this as an opportunity to build a relationship with the person.
Right.
And you want to be specific about what you want and when you want it, so that the other person, isn't rolling their eyes. And I can guarantee you one of the reasons people don't like to be on webcams is because that way they can't see you go.
Right. Just don't sigh too loud because your microphone's still on.
So, the No Hello Club, and this gets to your point, and you were fairly excited about this topic. So this obviously means more to you than it does to me. Just because this stuff, I've got an extra 30 years of dealing with humanity on me.
Fair.
I have calluses on my soul you have not yet developed. So, in a perfect world, given that those are the things that need to happen in this communication, if one is dealing with Marissa, what is the correct way?
So the funny thing is, when I actually introduced this topic to you, I had looked up in our Slack message and you had done this exact thing. And so, I mean, the idea, yes, say hello if you want to. I'm going to be honest, as a task-oriented person, I don't necessarily need you to say hello and the niceties ahead of time, but they are nice. And we can talk about how I handle that from the other side when I'm messaging you or somebody else on our team here in a minute. But, say your niceties. Tell me what you need from me all in one go. Because what sometimes is happening is somebody says, hi, how are you? And then I'm waiting for you to type what you need. And, some people type slow, some people don't, so it's fine. But I'm still waiting a few minutes before I find out why I've been interrupted. And I don't mind necessarily being interrupted. If I really truly did not need the interruption, I'd have my do not disturb on, right? But there's just this idea of, okay, I know that you need something and I'm ready to help you and I don't know what it is yet. So it gets me all amped up and I can't do anything with it.
And to be fair, you are prioritizing your day. Somebody you weren't expecting shows up on Slack, and there's a part of your brain, the very high C part of Marissa, who goes, what fresh hell is this? And how is it going to interrupt my getting my tasks done? Because
I task block my day.
There is an incoming action, right?
Yes.
Whether it's a simple yes, no question, or somebody is asking me to do something, my lovely to-do list day is about to be disrupted.
Right. And the question is, is this something that I can put in tomorrow's day, that I can put it in during the week? Or is this I need to drop everything to go into this? Because as somebody that works in tech for our company, it could be any of those things.
Well, and let's be honest, if it's a simple yes, no question, if it's, as I frequently do, because file structures make no sense to my Cocker Spaniel brain, hey, where did we put that file? Where would I find that particular document? If that is the kind of simple question that I can answer Wayne and he will go away.
Right.
You can make that executive decision, right?
Yes.
It's a very
and
simple
I do.
thing. And so, but one of the reasons for the No Hello Club is that communication has changed over time, and our relationship with it has changed over time. Let me give you a strange example.
Okay.
When email started, back in the mists of time, and we have already established that my career is exactly as old as email.
Right.
Right. So people were writing in this new form of email, the way that they wrote memos and other asynchronous communication.
Right.
And then it went way past that madness to the point where people were sending emails and then drumming their fingers waiting for answers.
Yeah, using it as an instant communication when it was never meant to be.
Using it as an asynchronous form of or as a synchronous form of communication, which it is not and was never designed to be. And so if you are sending emails and then sitting around waiting for answers, you are using it wrong.
Right.
Instant message has instant in the name.
Or pick up the phone.
Well, but therein lies the issue, you see.
Okay.
Is people of a certain age are used to using the telephone as a voice transmission tool.
Fair.
I have a 30-year-old daughter who refuses to actually talk on the phone. But the way that if you wanted to talk to somebody right away, you would get them on the phone and you'd say hi, and I'd say hi. I have a
Right.
favor to ask, blah, blah, blah. And you knew that you had the person's attention.
Yes.
We have now moved to where we are using text and chat and that kind of thing in place of the voice call.
Right.
But certain people are still treating it the same way.
Okay.
They are writing their messages the way they would talk on the phone.
Fair.
That's why they engage in the behavior that they do. If you're on the phone with me and I say hello, I am waiting for you to respond before I
Right.
launch into what I am doing, right?
Yes, because you want to make sure that I can hear you.
That you can hear me, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
So there has been a shift in how synchronous communication works.
Okay.
Not everybody has made that shift, which means if you have somebody who is doing that, you need to gently ask them to treat you the way that you want to be treated. I mean, the golden rule has always been treat people the way that you would want to be treated yourself, which is terrible advice for dealing with other human beings.
Right, because we all need different things.
It's a lovely concept, but we really want to treat people the way they want to be treated.
Right.
That's how you build relationships and don't annoy them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, kind of along that line too, and I know I kind of referenced, how do you prefer to have messages? We've already talked about how I prefer to have messages sent to me. Like, does this hello thing bother you? Do you want them there? Do you want everything together like I do?
If I am not in the middle of something on an average day,
okay.
If I do not, because I'm pretty good about using my do not disturb if I'm on a call or I'm teaching a class. So generally speaking, on an average day, it doesn't bother me too much. It's a pleasantry if one of our salespeople, who shall remain nameless, sends me a hello. I know that she wants to talk to me about something, and I go, oh, okay, I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
And I will either send her a hi, what's up, which is the cue. Right?
Yep.
Tell me now
why
you are bothering me.
Right.
Or I will say, hi, I'm busy right now. I'll be free in 15 minutes.
Yes.
Which is really what she wants to know. I mean, when she's saying hi, she's really saying, partly she's saying hello, but mostly she's saying, I need to talk to you. Can we do that?
Right. Yeah. I was going to say one of our other coworkers, we're not talking about the same person, but when she messages me and she needs to get on the phone with me about something, she says, hey, can I call you? And so then I know, okay, this is something that cannot be explained over Slack. It's probably something pretty technical. Like I do need to give her my attention for that. And sometimes it's hey, I'm about to run into a meeting. Can we do this later? Or is this an emergency? And we can discuss that kind of thing.
Really what the whole no hello movement is being conscious of how we talk to and work with each other.
Yes.
There are no rules in terms of hard and fast. I work with this person differently than I work with this person differently than I work with Marissa. But the point of things like no hello is it gets us thinking about it. We are now conscious of how am I approaching that person instead of unconsciously doing whatever makes sense in our fevered little brains.
Yeah, I was going to say too. So, I mean, on the other end of the spectrum, when you send me stuff, you say hello and then, whatever you need. For me, I'm naturally going to message somebody, oh, here's exactly what I need from you. I have to consciously remember to put that nicety in. And, so some of us that are more task oriented, there is that. And I will say I did have to laugh when I was looking up this topic. There is also a yes, hello club. Their thought process is, well, because niceties are good and we should be greeting people and they're not wrong. But this does go back to what we were talking about before of no hello does not mean don't say hi ahead of time. It just means put everything together at once, right? But it's interesting to me that there are, people on that other end of the spectrum that, are people who are more people oriented. If you're looking at like the disc style and stuff like that, like they want that hello, and they're actually really upset if you don't have it in there.
Yeah, and those are the people who are struggling working from home because they like the social interaction that takes place in the office,
Yes.
right? And again, people. People are just annoying and a problem, and the world would be so much easier without them. But we are stuck with each other.
Right. So we have to
And
learn how to work
so
with each other.
And so while I am not a card carrying member, I firmly believe in Groucho Marx's adage that I would not belong to any club that would have me as a member. So
Right.
I am neither a no hello or yes hello
Right.
kind of person, but it does make me cognizant of how I interact with my peers. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we are talking about this today.
Yes.
And it's what we are doing. So if you have enjoyed this show, what is wrong with you? No, if you have enjoyed the show and the other conversations that we have had, we would urge you to please like and subscribe. We will have show notes, transcripts, links to all kinds of good stuff on our website, longdistanceworklife.com. If you want to reach out to Marissa and I, we are both available by email, which is here. We are also very active. Marissa is becoming Lorena de LinkedIn. And so we are happy to interact with you any way we can. I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up, people, something that not everybody knows. You know about our books, The Long Distance Leader and The Long Distance Teammate. The third book in the Long Distance Work Life series, The Long Distance Team, is actually coming out in February. It is available for pre-order now. But the reason that I am telling you is that if you are on our mailing list or you would like to be, we are doing a live virtual LeaderCon event to coincide with the launch of the book. So be looking for that. If you're interested, ask us about it, and we will gladly tell you more. Marissa, thank you so much for this today. It's a blast. I know that most of what we are doing is all about keeping the weasels at bay. So thank you for joining us on the Long Distance Work Life. We will talk to you again soon.